Welcome to Not Like This. Not Like This. From professional wrestling, horror films, and everything in between. Strap in. And now your hosts, Dale Zawada and Jim Snedeker Jr.
Welcome to Not Like This. I'm Dale Zawada.
Yeah, I'm Jim
Snedeker. There he is.
There I am. That was interesting. Welcome to Not Like This.
Well, hey guys. So let's get this thing going. I want to start the show with a little bad news. I'm a little depressed this week, Jim.
Oh.
Some sad news. My favorite app was deleted from my phone this week.
Grinder.
Yeah. That was I was going to build up for like 2 minutes. Talking about the interesting friends that I made, how they're into new things.
Sorry.
And they took me in as one of their own, and then it was going to be Grinder. It was going to be a 2-minute Grinder joke.
Oh, God.
And you just chopped my legs right
Give me a
from
heads
under
up.
me.
We locked up, and I was like, go home. You're like, wait a minute. We just locked up.
No more parlor. No more parlor. The Capitol riots. You all saw about it. So I think that's what I have to offer to that subject this week. Unless you got a hot take, you got a lukewarm take on any of the world situation. Well, that's not even world. It's just our shitty little third world country here.
Yeah, just our world. I don't have a hot take. The flags were at half staff today. Because and I didn't look this up, but I asked someone, why are the flags at half staff? Half mast? I don't know.
Half mast.
And I was told President Trump ordered it so because of the violence and the loss of life at the Capitol. I'm like, oh, that's some extra Patrick Bateman. That's some fucking Ramsey Bolton shit. Like, I'm going to make them all get killed, and then I'm going to put the flags at half-mast in their memory.
A little martyrdom. And, I mean, it took him a while. Could have done it the next day. Didn't. He's probably pressured into it.
Yeah,
they were like, you really should. You should, boss. Like, Did you see I guess we are going to talk about it.
Yeah, of course.
The little clip of him? It was like a watch party, like when we watched the Packers-Bears game on Discord. There was a fucking watch party at the White House with Trump and his daughter and all the fucking goon. The goon squad was there, and they're just watching the riots on TV. There was fucking music playing.
Yeah, from a bunker. It reminded me of like some Tenacious D shit in the City Hall song. Where like we've been monitoring the riots from 3,000 feet below sea level from a bunker.
He just had to inspect the bunker again. How come nobody? I mean, Biden did a little bit during one debate.
Yep.
He gave a little stinger, something about how you're in your bunker inspecting the bunker while shit's going down. That'd be every other sentence for me. I'd be like, "Hey, bunker bitch, why don't you hush up over there?"
Bunker baby.
Little bunker baby bitch.
He's just a bunker baby over here.
Man.
It was a creepy video. And who took the video? Because we see everyone. We see the MILF lady from Fox News is in it, who's married to what's his face or girlfriend with him or whatever. And we see the Trump kid that's his, her boyfriend or whatever. So I'm like, who's taking the video is the creepy thing. Like, who else is in the room? Like the video of, did you find out who it was or?
No, I don't know.
Did you see the video of the Capitol police officer running from the crowd, and then he'll like get up the stairs and turn and face them and then sort of run a little more? But somebody's taking really good video of it. Like someone else has got to be running, but capturing this on their phone, running ahead of him. I'm not saying this is not me saying it's staged or anything. I was just wondering, is that another Capitol police officer's like body cam or something? It doesn't look a body cam. It looks too high quality. It was, I think it was the same cop that was in the meme of the Jason Kidd no look macing a guy in the face as he's breaking through the window, and this cop's like looking the other way, macing this guy in the face, running away from the window. It looked like that same cop.
I thought I had seen all the videos and viewed all the memes, but apparently I have not. Have been some ones that I've missed. I think I've seen some of the good ones, the better ones, the sadder ones. There's the one of the cop being dragged down the stairs while he's being bludgeoned. I'm like, oh, all right, yeah. Blue Lives Matter, though. Cool.
Yeah, I've heard.
Super
I've also
cool.
heard that he was a Trump voter.
Well, I don't. The guy, the cop, the Capitol Metro cop that was killed. He was a Trump voter, but I don't know if the cop that got dragged down the stairs.
Oh, that was the one that died?
I think that was a separate incident.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not get confirmation on that. Speaking of false news, fake news, disinformation. Story going around this week was the taser balls. Trump idiot gave himself a heart attack. That is not true, apparently. So I know we were all having a good time about that story, if you heard that story, but apparently a little too good to be true. So I think that was, once again, Twitter, the fucking bane of existence. Let that one get out of hand. It was birthed on Twitter, spread on Twitter, got to me. I didn't even look at Twitter for like 2 weeks, probably the last time I even looked at Twitter, but it still made its way to me because that's how it all works. It all spreads like a virus. But that's not true, and that's sad because I love that story. That was my favorite one. So now my favorite one is just a shot in the neck, I guess. Back to number one.
Yeah, well, I mean, what would happen if someone from Al Qaeda had a backpack on and tried to storm the Capitol building? You would hope that they would get shot.
Yeah,
it's no different.
Sure would.
Terrorism's terrorism.
Like a fucking enemy flag in the Capitol, and it's like, ooh, we're just letting that go, huh? Woo! But I guess not. I mean, they're starting to charge these idiots, and they're planning the next one. See, now they're all united. They're feeling good about themselves until they get caught. Then they cry like the babies that they are. But so there's some new ones being planned. They had to shut down the Washington Monument because the feds got the heads up. Like, yeah, I think they're gonna fucking try to blow up the Washington Monument. So they had to shut that down today. And I think was it the 16th? They might have. There's some rumblings that there might be some shenanigans on the 16th now. I love that they schedule it for us, so that's nice of them.
Yeah, well, they're lazy and dumb, so that makes sense. I heard. Do you see Arnold's video?
I didn't watch it. I heard essentially what he said.
It's long.
Thing, but I didn't watch it. Yes,
I think you should watch it though, because it's really, like, he had to have rehearsed it. Like, it was really good. And he talks about Kristallnacht in Germany, and I'm like, yeah, it is like that, except that led to like this terrible thing, and these people are just too lazy and dumb and crybabies and just went home and then cried at the airport because they couldn't fly home. I don't remember in the history books, and I don't remember watching Triumph of the Will and seeing people cry and go home. Which is
different breed. They're not bringing their best.
They're not bringing their best. They're losers, crybaby losers.
The craziest thing is, like, this is an insurrection, and they got in, and cops are being fired and charged for helping out essentially, and all that.
Yeah,
business.
doing
like
nothing.
They got in, like you had it. And then they just like, we're leaving now. I need a brat.
Where were all the guns? These are the gun people. Oh, they're the massive gun crowd. Where were all the guns? They had like pepper spray or mace or tasers. They didn't bring any guns with to take over the Capitol. Well, it's not allowed in DC. You pussies. I thought this was supposed to be a revolution. You didn't bring any bullets? You got 10,000 bullets in your basement. You couldn't bring a couple?
I made my own bullets.
And
I'm going to kill every single one. What? No guns allowed? They have the little sticker on the door that says no guns? God damn liberals.
Bunch of
with
lazy
their no gun stickers.
Lazy crybaby pussies. Well, I can't get the gun on the plane. Take the plane over. This is a revolution, remember?
A revolution.
You sad fucking losers.
They maced me.
The Animaniacs. If you guys haven't seen the Animaniacs video meme with the mace lady, you got to see it. It's really good. Totally insane. They kicked me out and maced me. What Too a good. Dingbat.
Too good. It's unfortunate that every week on this show, we almost have to kick it off with, here's what happened this week. We have to address it because we just have to address it. And this week it was an insurrection at the Capitol. 4 or 5 dead, and we'll see what the next week's episode brings.
You remember when Al Qaeda got thwarted and then they cried on video? They were crying on TikTok because they couldn't get on the plane to go home. You remember that?
Yeah, they did a TikTok dance and like, we're on our way home. They did a floss. They did the floss dance, and it was cringy.
But I just want to go home, and I can't get on the plane because they did a bad thing.
They put me in Guantanamo Bay.
They just think it's all fun and games. These people think it's fun and games.
It is a very scary combination of like malicious evilness and pure stupidity.
Yeah.
And in America, you can do that. You know, you can be raised and taken care of, and then you're out on your own and you can kind of do what you want, and you don't know any better because you've been programmed essentially to think this way, and they just but sometimes real life comes and bites you, and consequences are a thing, and they're learning that the hard way, and I'd like them to learn that a little harder, to be honest with you.
All of the big business deregulation, greed is good shit backfires on them when all these private companies just decide like, no, we don't allow murder talk and we don't allow racism and hate speech. Well, what's hate speech? What doesn't matter? Whatever I say it is, because it's my private company. Remember, you're all about deregulation and private companies doing what they want. But they're too big now. They're too big now. No, you're just whining because they don't like you and kicked you off.
And what's frustrating, and it's been frustrating for years, is the free speech argument. Well, free speech, no, it's a private company. They can do what they want. It's a pretty easy line.
Yeah.
Right there. And it's but you explain it to them. You just can't. It reminds me of Trump with the testing. He's just like, well, if we stop testing so goddamn much, be less cases.
Exactly.
And I figured like the first time he said that, like he revealed once again how moronic he is. And then he kept saying it week after month after year. And it's like, that might be the stupidest thing he's ever said. Like somebody needs to give me a top 10, not just like, oh, wow, he said a stupid thing because his mouth is bad, but like the brain, the inner workings of the logic that he had presented. Like that one still is insane to me. Well, if we stop testing so much, there'd be less cases and everything would be fine.
Yeah. And then if you keep going, if you pull at that thread, what he's saying is then my problem of this thing making me look bad just goes away. That's what he really wants. He is, as far as I've been alive, not even close to the most sociopathic president that we've ever had. In the truest sense of the word, I mean, he's a narcissist as well. But you know, a sociopath, they don't care about anybody. They don't care about anyone's safety. They don't ever show any empathy or remorse unless they're like conning you. You're like pulling a long con. He won't even do that though. He doesn't even like fake show empathy for people. It's all about winning and being biggerly. And he's just he's like sort of like Patrick Bateman, but not attractive and like doesn't have the balls to actually like kill anyone himself. But he doesn't. Now people might misunderstand what a sociopath is, but I'm not saying he's murdered people. I'm just saying personality wise, he checks all the boxes of a sociopath. You know, fucked people out of their houses for rent money and all that shit. Fucked all the workers over so he could make more money building his buildings and not have to pay anybody. And it doesn't matter whether or not he gets away with it legally throughout his life. It's about, do you ever do the right thing? Or do you always just look out for yourself no matter what, no matter how bad that is? And that's what he is. I think I do feel good because I don't think Trump caused this groundswell of like crazy white supremacist racists wanting to take over the country. but he is like a perfect storm of who they needed to get behind. And now he's gone, and he'll probably be dead soon. He's fat and old. And who's got the cult of personality around them to capture that again? I don't know. I think we might be safe for a little while. The other thing that doesn't bother me, I heard a complaint on Facebook from somebody I know and somebody I like, who is like politically probably pretty aligned with me. But this person said, I don't know about the Twitter thing, man. It's a slippery slope. What if they come after the liberals next? As if there is some... I think this person's buying into not the Trump line of thinking and those people's thinking, but the like it's a movie. Like they're gonna come after us. What if they come after us one day? Well, I'll worry about that once quote unquote us is like calling for violence and revolution and murder, and then those people should be kicked off Twitter too. I'm not worried about it because
just get rid of Twitter. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but it's not like some it's so I've heard this argument before with some executive powers. Like, well, yeah, it'd be cool if Obama could just do this and snap his fingers and have socialized medicine. But if he could do that, then the next administration, if it's not what you like, then they could do shit. That makes sense. Like that, those people have more actual directly deadly power. But Twitter banning somebody for inciting a revolution against the United States, I should certainly fucking hope so that they ban him for that. It took them 50,000 warning shots to ban this asshole.
I like that they're like, we're going to suspend him. And then they unsuspended him like right away, which is a real bitch move. And then he sent like 2 tweets and they're like, all right, enough. You're just gone now.
Yeah, because they're worried about it.
2 tweets.
They're just worried about this like fraction of the population that says, look at how they lean to the left, all these tech companies. So they unsuspend him and they let him get away with shit so they don't seem biased. It's not maybe they are biased, maybe they aren't. I don't think it's a bias though. When some people are just horrible human beings and saying hateful shit on your platform, it is just a good self-interest as a company to get those people off of your platform and away from you socially. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be associated with we just let Alex Jones say that there's aliens raping kids at a pizza parlor or whatever. I'm sure he got banned from Twitter too. Well, they deplatformed him. It's their platform. He's saying crazy shit that people don't like, and they're like, whoa, go away.
Yeah.
It's not like he's just saying, "Oh, I'm a Cowboys fan," and they're like, "Fuck the Cowboys, you're banned."
It's that entitlement, which is a word we're hearing a lot, which we should. We're just like, you can't take the Twitter. It's like, Jesus Christ, yeah, we can. It's a private. They can do what they want. They deplatform. Well, just grab yourself by the bootstraps, grab a megaphone, hit the corner. There's your platform.
Make your own Twitter. What's so hard? Like
they tried.
Tony Stark it
up.
And he made Twitter in a cave with scraps. Fucking, Mark Zuckerberg and one other guy that he stole everything from made Facebook. And you can't get rid of what? That's a public utility now. Well, where was all this when everyone wanted to re-regulate shit? Oh, we can't regulate these tech companies. It's can't regulate business like that. Let the free market decide. Well, it's deciding. I don't like what it's deciding though.
Just like how they voted for like travel bans, and now they're being travel banned.
Hey, this was your idea, not mine. But not since you're here, I just want to let you know you're not flying here ever again.
And it's always been that way. Like, one of the arguments that the left would shout out at the right is like, why are you voting for them? They're hurting you the most.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are voting for things that go against you in almost every way. And now they're starting to really pay the price for it. And good. Couldn't happen to a better group of people.
There aren't as many idealists in the United States Congress as people on all spectrums of the political landscape would hope. They're very much about self-preservation and keeping their jobs. And if they get a sniff that these nut jobs are going to cost them their job, they'll turn on them in a heartbeat. So good luck with that.
Yeah. And we'll see. We'll see what next week's episode has. Trump's trying to get out of here. He was like, "I'm going to go to Ireland for just a little vacation, I think." And I was like, "No, don't do that.
Please do Ireland."
And I was like, I meant Scotland." And the Scotland Prime Minister or whatever was like, "We will not let you in. Like, if your plane lands, like you live there at the airport. Like, that's it."
Yeah. What if, like, I don't know. What a vile piece of shit to that. Like, no one will even let you in their country.
And now, I honestly, I think this is the one we get, because it's a great ending to this season 4, which there will be a season 5 and beyond. But now he didn't have this scheduled before, but now suddenly he's got it in the books here. Little unscheduled or a trip to Mexico coming up soon. Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if he fled illegally to Mexico, undocumented citizen in Mexico? That would just be phenomenal.
It would be great if they let him in and never let him out.
Honestly, of all the scenarios, like, oh, he's going to go to Russia, I think he's going to go to Mexico, and it's going to be great.
And if he goes down there, he ain't even going to be one of the 4 or 5 richest guys in the room, because they got some of that off the books money down there.
He could be in a room with us, and he wouldn't even be like the 3rd richest guy in the room.
Oh yeah,
motherfucker's in debt up to
his some debt.
Orange hair.
He's got some debt, but would you want to be that orange bastard down in Mexico with the cartel running around? You've been calling them all rapists and murderers and all that shit, and you want to go down there? I don't know, man.
JK, LOL.
Yeah, I think you'd be better off in Canada, even though they have a whatever their version of democratic prime minister is. They're supposed to be nice up there. And you weren't talking shit about them like you were with Mexico. Man, can you imagine he goes down there?
Not like Mexico.
I'd be scared. It'd be like, remember when Saddam was on the loose after America invaded Iraq and they like found him hiding in a hole? That's how I feel he'd have to be in Mexico. Because who's going to stop him? You know? Hey, we're on the hunt. We're going to find. Yeah.
He's got some value, though, to them. Because he's going to give up state secrets like nobody's business. I mean, he already has Kushner. Like, that's what Kushner's there for. So somebody will use him and abuse him, and they can milk that fat cow for longer, a pretty long time. And here's another thing, and I hope they don't do this, but like former presidents, they still get
Secret Service detail.
No, not even that, but like they get updates on things, like very valuable.
Oh, like security briefings.
Yeah. And it's like, no, on the 20th or whatever, no more. Unsubscribe. No emails for him.
I keep hitting refresh. I'm not getting any. I don't see any updates. That's well, if he gets removed from office, he gets none of that stuff. That's not happening. As much as it would be. I mean,
as of right now, he would. As of right now, if today's the 20th and tomorrow's the 21st, he would. But
no. I mean, if he gets removed from office before that,
yeah. Well,
if they
they're all fucking, we're considering this, we're considering that.
Yeah, if he gets 25th Amendmented, that shit all goes away. And if he gets impeached again and then found guilty, that shit all goes away. So you better.
And I've got my eye on Mitt Romney, because it's all about who's gonna be their
who's gonna
guy.
Flip.
Who's gonna be their horse in the race next time. Are they gonna go crazy train like a Sarah Palin again, who was like the proto Trump?
Yeah.
Or are they gonna try to play it safe with like a Mitt Romney who, good-looking guy. He can talk, and he's got somewhat of a decent past, but he is a huge piece of shit.
Sure.
He is a spineless piece of shit. Do not get it twisted. Well, he's so much better than Trump, and oh, look at him. No, that's actually what makes him worse, actually. Because
he has binders full of women.
So we'll see who their guy is, and it's just a fun time. Also, COVID's a thing. Those record numbers there. Remember COVID? Yeah, that's still here.
Still here, still going strong. It's the strongest in Ireland, though. That's why it's funny he wanted to go there.
That is kind of funny. I did not know that. I haven't had it yet, and man, oh man, can I keep the streak alive? It's honestly feels like a miracle at this point. Everybody at work's had it at this point, it seems. Almost all of my friends, it seems. Yeah. I don't go anywhere. I don't go anywhere from work. I stay away from everybody over there. Don't fucking talk to me. Don't look at me. Hey, you want a couch? Hey.
Yeah. No, right there's good.
12 months. 0%. Credit card's fine.
Just slide it over here. There's no vaccine in sight for any of us, unfortunately. In Indiana.
Well, you work at a school, right?
Nope.
You work at a school, so aren't you on the 1B plan?
Nope. Not in Indiana. It was that way. It was initially announced that it'll be, the first round of people, and then in the second round of people, teachers will be in there. Yeah, not quite. We don't know when.
Maybe down the road. You're in the 3C group now.
Yeah. Boarding section Z38.
Oh, that's us. Grab your bags.
Yeah.
That's us. Crazy. And I told this story in our chat group, but I had a lady at work. We asked the questions to come in, have you had the symptoms? Have you traveled? Blah, 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 temperature. And they're like, this lady was like, oh, I'm good. I got the shot. And I'm like, Sean, one shot? That's a two-step approach.
Yeah. There's 2 shots. And you
even
didn't tell me which shot you got. Just for the flu. I got the flu shot. I'm fine.
I went for the shot. I didn't get it, but I went for it. So we'll see. Let's talk about something a little more comfortable.
Of course.
In our comfort zone. Something we haven't talked about in a while. So everyone's screaming, stop talking politics. Well, now you get to be upset because, now they're talking about Halloween again. Christ, honey. Fuck. And nothing too big, but I did want to bring it up. Just some more articles about how Halloween Kills is going to be more action-packed than 2018, which we all knew. All the quotes, it's Halloween 2018 on Coke or whatever, all that bullshit. So there's just a lot more of that talk going around.
Okay.
And there's a new photograph that was posted because they're starting to trickle in. I mean, we're in January, February, March, April, May. I mean, we're getting there now. We're on the other side of that rainbow. So like the countdown begins. So I posted the picture in Discord. It's a picture of Michael Myers, and I'm going to post this with this episode, facebook.com/notlikeThisPodcast. It's Michael Myers, and it's that great Michael Myers shot where he's at the top of a staircase. That's just where he needs to be.
I like that.
He just needs to live up there. And he's in his jumpsuit. He's got the knife. He's got his mask, and he looks a little worse for wear. He looks like he was in a fire. And I like the look. I think it looks very good.
I like it too. This could be. I'd have to go back and look at it.
Are you comparing houses now?
I'm just, from the angle.
That window, well, the moon's coming in and it's hitting that part of the wall, which means that might be Laurie Strode's aunt's house from the twice removed gym.
The angle could be the shot where we see Allison looking up and screaming.
Very likely. Now that you say that. Like, who's it looking at? It could be just a production still. Like, hey, get up there. We're doing photos today.
Of course. They always get you with the production stills and the frogman eyes, the frog eye mask in the trailer.
But I like the amount of damage that they've done with the mask and the suit and his hands. And it leads you to ask the question, well, how long was he in that fire? So it goes along with, our theory. I think it was at least mine. I don't know where you landed on it. but he's not in that fire very long. Does he escape right away, or is it the fire department that kind of gets him out of there? Either way, it doesn't look like he was in there terribly long. Otherwise, he wouldn't even have a mask. It'd be like melted to his face. And man, oh man, that would be some Rob Zombie shit. Well, we decided, the fire would just melt it. It's part of him now. That's the shape. It's part of him. Fuck off.
That sounds that's something that's cool if you're doing like a comic book and you want like a new fresh take on some old comic book character and come up like, oh, Wolverine's got bone claws now. But in a movie, just stop fucking around. Like, oh, this is the melted mask variant action figure. This is Zipline Michael and this is Melty Mask Michael, and then you actually see it in a movie where they have like, oh, look, he has half of his mask. Doesn't that look cool? It might have looked cool for like one shot at the end, but not for a whole movie.
I agree. And now I just want Zipline Michael.
Yeah, this is parasailing Michael.
That'd be good stuff. I was people were commenting on these articles and the photo, and a lot of people were worried, not so much about the mask or anything like that, but just the news that's going to be action packed and bloody and all of that business. And there was a lot of talk about the original. It's like, well, why don't they go? They're getting away from what made the original so great. The suspense, the low body count. I'd prefer a low body count. Da 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 da. And what are your thoughts on that? Like, what if this movie? Because I don't know. Somebody might have. How we broke down the trailer, which you can find on YouTube.
Yeah, just type in YouTube. Well, you know how to get there. So go to YouTube. I'm doing it like I'm trying to tell someone's grandmother how to get there. When you go to YouTube, if you search "Not Like This" Halloween, it'll be the top or near the top result. So yeah, the breakdown is there. But you were saying, what if that's the case or something?
No. What if the movie is? Yeah. Somebody might have done their own little breakdown. Looking at the frames, this, that. Somehow they got to the number 30. I don't know how. Maybe they're talking out their ass, but they're like, "There's at least 30 kills, and here's why." And I don't really know. So what if? But what if the movie is essentially nonstop? Michael Myers is out killing people. Would that upset you?
No, I don't think it would. I would have to see how it. I'd have to watch it in the moment and decide. Because a lot of things upset me when I hear the idea or I see it typed out or something, and then it could work. I'll give you an example. We were talking about this not on the podcast, but how there were a lot of nerd tears that hit the ground when in Iron Man 3 the Mandarin isn't really the Mandarin.
Yeah.
And if that was something not like if you told me that now, like, well, the Mandarin's going to be a fake and blah blah, I'd be like, oh, that's dumb. Just really make him the Mandarin. And but the way they did it, I thought was really entertaining, and it worked. So I wouldn't just automatically hate that idea.
Yeah. And I wonder if Halloween Kills does end up being that crazy wild ride, and then Halloween comes to an end, whatever the third one's called, Halloween Ends. Maybe that one kind of slows it down and we kind of get back to formula a little bit. And maybe that one's
back to formula
and lower body count. And we focus on the story, this, that, and then we get our nice conclusion and we're out of here, folks. And I think that's probably the best bet. Now, if Halloween Kills is a murder spree and Halloween Ends up being a murder spree, I'm sure I'd have a good time as well. But just talking it out, I'd like to see Halloween Kills just murder everyone. That'd be great. I need that right now in my life. I need that release. And then, yeah, let's slow it down for the last one. That's our swan song. Let's do it right. It's Jim Cornette. Slow it down. Shit.
I feel like with Halloween 2018, we had a little bit of a new hope where they give you an ending that can be the end if they don't make more. But they give you a little way out. So in A New Hope, you're like, oh, they blow up the Death Star. Oh, look at they're getting medals. Looks like they go on to win this whole rebellion thing. But then we get 2 movies that they knew were going to happen, and those movies run into each other. You know, they tie in. So I'm hoping that it's not, even if there's a high body count in Ends, I hope that it's not more of just Halloween Kills. I hope it's something not completely different necessarily for the sake of being different, but you know, give us a movie we haven't seen yet. Because it sounds like it'll be a movie we haven't seen yet. Halloween Kills.
No, this is going to be more Jason Voorhees almost. Which, hey, sometimes you gotta go on a murder spree. I mean, this man is a killer, so it still tracks. I've also posted in the Discord and attached to this episode a screen grab from the original ending. As we know that they did change the original 2018 ending because fans were confused and stupid. So they're like, fire, it burns them up, I guess. Jesus Christ. And I think he's escaping or whatnot. And it's kind of left a little vague. And I like this shot. Like him just kind of walking through the woods and you just get a little glimpse of him sort of thing. Like I really need that. I need to see that ending. And that wasn't in the Blu-ray, which I have. I was very upset about that. But if there's screen grabs out there, there's at least a little rough cut of it. And I want to see.
That's a good point. That's a good point. If we have this shot, somebody who shouldn't be posting stuff has stuff available. You know what I mean? I'd love to see it. Why not put it out on the Blu-ray? What difference?
You know what I think they'll do? I think they'll definitely post that a month or so before to get the hype train to make sure it's still on the tracks. Like, and here's the original ending for 2018, by the way. It's like, whoa, shit! Just for Dale and Jim.
However, they have to do it. I want to see it. I'm still excited though. I'm still excited for these next 2 movies, but I mean, Ends could be something completely different. It could be he gets captured at the end of Kills, and then he gets tried, and maybe we see a little trial, and they recommit him, and there is no more death penalty, blah, 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 and then maybe it is, Lori and whomever who's still alive breaking into a prison to find him and kill him, and he's running, they're trying to get him in the sanitarium, but now they're on his turf. And I know Malik Akkad.
I'd love that.
There was before Kills, I think actually before Rob Zombie's movies came out, there was supposed to be maybe I got it wrong now, I don't remember, but there was in development some version of a story where he's in the sanitarium. That's like the main setting of the movie. And it was supposed to be a lot different from what we were used to. I'm guessing probably because of his look, and how he'd be dressed and what he would be doing. But, maybe they have some of that angle in Ends. I am really curious to know what their plans are for Ends, because it does seem like he could go on a rampage, killing spree here, finish what he started, and then the angry mob gets him and tears him apart at the end of Kills, and that could be it. But they've got a whole 3rd movie. I'm excited.
A whole 3rd movie. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's going to be a courtroom drama. That'd be fun. But it's.
What's the wrinkle, though?
I'm excited about it, though.
Sartain, Curse of the Thorn.
Yes.
There's always got to be a little wrinkle to add to the drama.
You got to have that Cobra Kai ending where you're like, oh, next movie's going to be good.
And boy, do they ever deliver on that. Are we doing this?
Yeah, let's go ahead and segue right into Cobra Kai. We warned you that this week we're going to talk about Cobra Kai season 3 in some detail here. So spoilers the rest of the way.
Yeah, spoilers are incoming.
Thank you for listening. This is episode whatever, and I'm shot in the neck. God, that one just fucking tickles me. Cobra Kai season 3. Miguel And I always hate these types of seasons. So Miguel takes a big nasty bump at the end of 2 in the school fight, and he's in the hospital for like the first half of this season. And it reminds me of Deadwood season 2, where El Swearingen is bedridden for most of season 2 with some sort of ailment. And I'm like, you're taking a key character and you're just cutting his balls off. Like, I need them out there. I need them part of the action here. So I always kind of dislike those. Like, we know he's going to heal up. We know whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Like, speed that up a little bit. But they do a good job with it nonetheless.
Yeah. I feel like it's more in thirds. He's I feel like the first third, he's in the hospital. The second third, he's in a wheelchair. He can't really walk. Johnny's got to help him get his legs back.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of that third, he like goes back to school. And then the last third, he's like almost back to normal.
Yeah. And I did like, I mean, you knew it was going to be about Johnny doing his thing, his demons, being there for Miguel and getting Miguel up to speed. And I love the scenes where he would try and they wouldn't work, which you have to have those, and they were hilarious. And then not trying to, force him or manipulate him or trick him into walking and all that stuff. But he takes him to that Dee Snider concert. It's like, we're just going to go drink and maybe there's going to be some titties, which was great. And I was having such a good time with that. It was just a nice little heartwarming scene that was also kind of just fun.
Yeah.
And then he's tapping his toe. And I'm like, oh, shit, they did it here. This is how they did it. This was the moment.
I didn't see that coming either.
Yeah, that was because you're so distracted by everything else going on.
I love that he's drinking. Awesome. Like, this show at sometimes you think it's going to be a little too hand-holdy, like liberal pussy shit. And then they hit you with the underage drinking. I love it.
Yeah, I liked when the school teachers would yell at him, like the whole group, and Hawk would like lean into it. It's like, well, they were in my safe space and they're not keeping their 6 feet and all. Like, he would lean into the social norms that exist and kind of flip it, and of course piss everyone off. Like, no, you were instigating it, you little bastard. He did a great job. I love that. I love Hawk. I think he's a good character and actor. I like that guy.
He did a great job.
I also like Miguel as a character and actor. I saw a clip. There's a David Spade Netflix like after show special where they talk to all the Netflix originals people and like Stranger Things kids, and they do interviews. Miguel's fucking huge.
He's tall.
Like, he is a big dude. Like, he's tall and he's kind of jacked. Like, he doesn't give off nerdy vibes at all, but he sure does in Cobra Kai. I think they did a great job with that.
There's probably a growth spurt thing happening there,
Maybe.
Caught him on the tail end of being a scrawny teenager, and now it's blowing up on him.
In the casting call, he's like my height. Then they film season 1, and he's your height, and then it's just, they're like, God damn it, stop
He T2'd him
doing that.
Yeah,
but,
I like
Cobra
him
Kai
too.
Season 3, it was a John Kreese season,
very much so,
and I love it. I like that character. I like that actor. What's the actor's name?
Martin Cove.
Martin Cove. Get him back. Haven't seen this guy in years.
No.
And can he play anyone other than John Kreese? I'm sure he probably can, but let's get him. He can play abusive stepdad in some horror films. Like,
sure.
Get him in the fucking movies, man. He's great.
Yeah, he was like a cop in Rambo, I think. He plays that tough guy character.
Yeah, like an It. The bully's dad is a cop, asshole, piece of garbage. And I thought, give me John Kreese for that. Give me Martin Cove. But they do a lot of flashbacks in this one. And the first one is in a diner, and there's this bully, and he's got this girl, and he's being an asshole to her. He's being an asshole to the waiter. It's like, you fucking nerd. And you're like, fucking Johnny Kreese. And only to come to find out that the waiter that's being bullied, that was John Kreese.
I liked that little flip.
It's just like the best stand-up is when you see the punchline right before it's happening. I saw the reveal right before it was happening, and that hits you exactly how it's supposed to. And it's very well done scene. And we get more flashbacks for Kreese, a lot of Vietnam stuff.
Yeah, when they said, like, isn't it the kid whose mom killed himself? I was like, oh, I wonder if that's Kreese. And then when the military guy was there, and then they, like, laughed and were like, oh, I'm throwing this away. I'm like, oh, no, the busboy guy who picks it up, that's Kreese, because we know he ends up in Vietnam. Yeah. I really liked the Vietnam stuff, and I didn't think I was going to, because I thought, don't tell me why Jason's so mad at everyone, sort of that type of thing. Let me hate this guy, but this is a drama, and he's a human, so it makes sense.
And I think they did the flashbacks. It reminds me of Lost. Where whenever you got a flashback, you knew there was going to be a development, a reveal, some information where you really needed to keep your eyes open and watch that scene because this is important. And there was every time they went to Vietnam. It's like, we're going to introduce this character and this, and now they're going to go fight. And it was great because John Kreese early on in Vietnam, he's just a regular guy, kind of normal, a bit of a leader. He's looking out for people, sort of thing. He's not soft. He's not like a Boy Scout.
Pretty swole.
Pretty swole, too. But they have this captain or whatever, this older gentleman who's in charge of their squad. And he's very Kreese, and he's about that no mercy shit. And he's like, no mercy, and because they're not going to give you mercy and all that. I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. And here we go. And they go and do this mission, little secret, we're going to blow up their base sort of thing. And Kreese, I think it happens a couple times, but he does show mercy. And it does cost them significantly.
Yep. It a couple different times. And I think they stretched that out over more than one episode, possibly. I don't know. I think so. Now.
And so they get kidnapped, they get imprisoned, POW style, and the Vietnam guys, the Viet Cong, right?
Viet Cong were the bad ones.
They have these soldiers fighting one another on like this bridge of death, and if you fall in there, there's like, I don't know, there's fire or rocks or something. It's very mysterious, like, oh shit, what's even in that pit? Because one guy like fought and survived, and he was like, oh, you don't even want to know, it's worse than you think.
Yeah,
like,
right when he said that, I knew it was in there.
I didn't, but I was very excited because I knew they were going to reveal it. And drama. And now Kreese, they say, you're going to fight. Well, actually, no, they say, who are they going to have fight? The commander, the older gentleman leading the squad, who hates Kreese at this point because this is all Kreese's fault in his eyes. So the captain, and they're like, "You're old man, you're going to fight, and you're going to fight this guy." Who was that guy?
Was it Ponytail or the other guy?
Well, Ponytail isn't who you'd think Ponytail was,
right?
Which upset me greatly.
Like, it makes sense though, because I feel like the way they look, I feel like the other guys got the look more than Ponytail.
Yes. But another guy in the squad is like, you're going to fight this other guy in the squad. And that guy is scared shitless. He's just in another world. And John Kreese says, no, he'll fight me.
Yep.
I'm going to step up because this guy's going to get instant killed. And that's wrong.
This is my fault.
And once again, shows a little mercy there. But they get him on the bridge. So you have John Kreese versus his commanding officer on the bridge. And we get a good look at what's in the pit of death. And what's in there, Jim?
Snakes.
Cobras. I love that. That was super cool. You don't want that. And so here we have this fight, this Mortal Kombat showdown. And Kreese is young and he's jacked. So he's getting one over on him. And he's like got this guy halfway off the bridge. And I'm like, good. This guy's a dick. And as this fight is happening, the cavalry arrives. U.S. soldiers, boom, boom, boom. They bomb the nearby area. And the Viet Cong run off. And it should be over. And the commanding officer who's hanging off the bridge is like, all right, Chris, let me up. It's time. We're out of here. And Kreese was like, yeah, what about that no mercy shit, huh? You got your no mercy right here. And he kicks him off or whatnot into the pit and takes that man out. And that is your birth of John Kreese. And also, and I feel that this was just for us.
It was.
We get another guy trapped in there, part of the squad. And he's also scared shitless. He's very vocal. And he's whining and stuff. And the commanding officer is like, shut your mouth, Silver. And I said, excuse me.
And I missed it.
You missed that. We get Terry Silver in
it's
flashback form in the Vietnam, because we knew that in Karate Kid Part 3 they were war buddies.
Yes.
You bailed me out big time back then, man. And we got to see him bail him out big time back then, man. That was everything I needed.
I was very happy I missed it as well. Because had I heard that line, then the ending to me wouldn't have been as sweet.
They do kind of double dip the reveal, I guess. Well, they do have to, Jim, it's more than just us watching the show.
Sure. But
they have to set up their punchline a little bit. They can't just hit you with a punchline hoping that you remember that setup from 25 comedy shows beforehand.
Right.
But I love that because they do set it up. He's like, if you ever need anything, man, you bailed me out. And at the end of the season, just like in season 2, where we get the phone and Allie's calling, so you're like, oh, cliffhanger, is Allie showing up? In season 3, once again on the phone, Kreese picks it up, makes a call, and it says, hey, you said if I ever needed anything. Well, and I'm like, oh my God, it's happening.
Yes.
It's happening. Season 4, Terry Silver, one of probably my top 3 villains of all time, because I just wish I loved anything as much as Terry Silver loves being evil. I just love how passionate he is about fucking kids over and just being an asshole.
Let me start with the pain.
So we're gonna get that. And you alluded, are they arming it? Are they having such a hard cliffhanger to force a season 4? I don't think that was probably the case. I think season 4 was just lined up. I think they have season 4 and 5 on paper, like just contract wise, like we're good. They're probably going to get out of there at 5, I think, and I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, I'm glad I missed that line though, because when I saw the ending, I popped I got so excited for the ending, and I wouldn't have been that excited for the ending had I heard him say Silver. But I watched it with both my kids. They're talking. They're playing fight karate. They can't help it. They're kids watching Karate Kid. You can't not jump around and do karate. So I saw all of the scenes. Like, I didn't miss an entire scene, but it's just that one line where he says Silver, and I missed that part. So when the ending happened, and he is like, you said if I ever needed anything, I'm like, oh, that's Terry Silver for sure. Like, he was one of the Vietnam guys.
And they did do it somewhat. It was a little clunky because, as we know, Kreese has already called in his favor in like 89, Karate Kid 3.
Yeah, and I know what you're getting at too.
But he does have a line like, if you ever need anything, no matter how many times, like
even if you do it in 89, you could do it in 99. I'll be back in 2021, whatever you need.
Yeah, it is a little something like that.
It is. Yeah, it's clunky, but I like it. And what was cool, we talked about this after season 1, that as far as like a nostalgia revisit to a franchise that we love, they kept as many doors open as anybody. Like, they talk about 3 just as much as 2 in season 1. Just as much, they talk about 1 more, right? Because Johnny is like the main character of the show.
Yeah.
But when they reference the other movies, 2 and 3, they reference them equally. They're not like, well, 3 was the worst one, let's pretend it didn't happen. That does not happen in this show. So when they teased, as soon as they started doing Vietnam stuff, I'm like, okay, you know what needs to happen now. I'll tell you where I was worried. When he got out of the hospital, Miguel, without what I thought was, we see Allie hit, take the friend request and accept it, or sends him a friend request, sends Johnny a friend request at the end of season 2. I thought, well, she's a neurosurgeon. This kid has a spinal injury.
Right.
Maybe that will be the tie-in. Maybe he accepts it and he messages her back or something, and then just tells her the situation, and she flies out to do this surgery on Miguel to help Johnny out or whatever. So when he got out of the hospital and Johnny gets him walking again, and we still haven't seen any Allie, I was like, they're going to give me Terry Silver, but I'm not going to get Allie. And I think maybe at this point, I don't remember the crossover of when he starts walking and then Daniel goes to Okinawa. But he definitely goes to Okinawa before we see Allie.
Oh, yeah.
And what was cool is we got a whole episode. We got Chosen, and we got them sort of like burying the hatchet and doing some training shit and talking old school shit. And then we got his main chick from Karate Kid 2 is in it. Then in that same episode, you get the chick he saves from the hurricane that's ringing the bell. They give you all of the Karate Kid 2 stuff that they ever can give you, really. The other people have all passed away in real life. So while that did seem a bit forced, and I saw it coming too when they were like, well, I forget the name, the fake company name, Daiono or
not Toyota.
Right. It's
Toyota.
like, we're going to lose the Japanese deal. And he's like, I'm going to have to go. I'm like, he's got to see the Japanese investors. There's always a token Japanese investor scene. And
he took like one meeting and then spent the rest of his time with Chosen
doing karate. That's how he's been operating the whole show. Like, oh yeah, sorry, I lost track of time doing karate. Oh, I was teaching Sam some karate. Oh, our business is floundering. Karate will solve it.
I better go to the karate capital of the world. Bye.
His wife hates all the karate shit, and that to me is hilarious.
I thought she had a good season.
She did. She was my favorite character this season.
She had that Jersey attitude, like, hey, fuck you. And they're like, ma'am.
Yeah.
This is a subway.
She slaps Kreese in the face.
And that comes back and bites her. She's like, I want a restraining order on this son of a bitch. And he's like, there actually is one already because you struck that man. She's like, fuck.
He's like, my wife didn't, did you? And we all know.
I was nervous the first Chosen scene. Because he's talking with the lady at the bar, and then Chosen walks in, and it reminded me of whichever new Star Wars movie where Luke gets his first big scene in the opening, and it's very serious and dramatic, and then he comedically tosses the lightsaber over his shoulder. I was getting those vibes as he was walking up, like he was going to be like, hey, Daniel-san, like something like that, and I was so fucking nervous, and that never happened. He never really lightened up. They bonded a little bit, but they were,
But he didn't lighten up, right?
Yeah, and I thought that was great. I thought that was super cool. And I also like Daniel still learning, Miyagi-Do shit, advancements at this stage in his life and career. Did he find like a secret scroll, like it's Ghost of Tsushima or something?
He gave him the scroll, too. Chosen gave him the scroll. Chosen was training him. And we were right. I mean, I guessed that at that little teaser trailer where we see like a Sai hitting the ground next to him. I'm like, I bet he's fighting Chosen. But I thought it would be like Chosen like coming to get his revenge. But while I was thinking that, I did think that's a bit intense, even for how intense Cobra Kai can get. It never gets too intense, right? It's like kids fighting each other doing karate. And like if Chosen's coming to like assassinate Daniel in his home dojo, I'm like, that's a little out of character for the show. And it turns out I was completely wrong, and it was completely in character for the show, how that whole sequence happened.
I do hope that they break from that, because it's a light show. It's a very entertaining show. But I do hope the Terry Silver season, he's going to get in there. That car dealership is done. Like, that's done. He's going to bankrupt LaRusso.
Lost everything.
I want it to get a little serious. And what I would like how to see it play out, I want him to be off screen a good amount. And you just see like signatures, like what? Who bought it?
Right.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And then of course, of course he's gonna show up, and they're gonna fight because it's the Karate Kid show. That's gonna be fantastic. They might throw a wrinkle. Maybe he fights Johnny. Maybe he fights Kreese. But what's his name? Thomas Ian Griffith.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Bad guy from Vampires. John Carpenter's Vampires.
You always go to Vampires.
Nobody's
seen it.
It's his second best villain role that he's done.
It's his only second villain role.
Nobody's seen it. That's a hot John Carpenter flick.
Who's the lead in that? James Woods. He ruins that for me. Every time I try to watch that movie, he just sucks the life out of that shit.
Yeah? Why? He's too cavalier?
I guess he's not. He doesn't seem like an actor. He just seems out of place in every movie.
Hey, Padre, yeah, we're going to kill these fucking vampires. Yeah, I stabbed him in the chest. I don't know. I kind of like him in that.
Yeah.
I have to watch it again. It's been a while.
Drama with the kids, that doesn't advance as much as you'd like.
No, a lot more fighting with the kids, but not as much character drama. They do good stuff with Peyton List, though. Where they make you sort of feel for her, the bad girl.
Yeah,
she's got to take care of her mom. Yeah. She's like pseudo. He's trying to rape this chick for rent money or something. I mean,
they booked her so well in this season because I think it's the final episode or the penultimate episode, the big fight at the LaRusso joint. People are scrapping and da-da-da-da-da. And then she walks in with a couple of her goons. And like, oh, business just picked up. And I was like, why am I feeling that way? Like, I haven't seen her fight anybody in what seems like forever. But she's just got that attitude and that ferocity.
Yeah, and she was out for blood at the end of season 2. Like, she was trying to kill Sam. She's fucking crazy.
So that was awesome. Hawk is still Hawk, but at the end of the season, Kreese has Cobra Kai. They're just an army of assholes, as I think Hawk says. And Daniel and Johnny team up with their best students, and they join forces. And that's how that season ends. So it's Cobra Kai, John Kreese versus Daniel and Johnny. But are we going to get a 2v2? Does Kreese need... does he need a partner here?
2v3.
I think he does. Who's the 3? Who's the third man?
Karate's bad boy, Mike Barnes.
That's what season 4 is all about.
Yeah, that's what's coming up.
Season 5.
Oh, okay.
Season 5.
So,
do you think they do Terry Silver and Karate
in one season? I don't know, but I think Mike Barnes comes back for sure.
I think maybe that's the cliffhanger of that one
because that guy's still an actor. He's still alive. He actually knows martial arts. Like that's sort of how he got the part for Karate Kid 3. So
makes sense.
It won't look terrible on the screen. I would assume. And he's a good villain, and because here I wanted to say this, and I don't want to leave it out, but I know we're running out of time here. But because Karate Kid 3 is so bad, we have a lot of open doors. Here's what I mean by this. It ends just like Karate Kid 1 ends. Hey, Daniel-san, you did it again. Trophy, it's over. We don't see Silver get arrested. We don't see, nothing happens with those characters. So it's wide open for them to write some good shit that's happened. Yeah. And I am hoping for the best. And this show hasn't let me down yet. So I like that. The Daniel fighting Kreese, I thought was really cool, and I felt like it was something we never got to see that we felt like we should have gotten to see, and we got to see some of it.
It didn't make sense back then. Like I never even fantasy booked it because there's just something about an adult fighting a kid. Like no, he's gonna fight his student, but now I mean they're all just adults, some older than others, of course. So it's like let's do this.
You could tell Martin Cove couldn't really go. There was a lot of behind the over the shoulder stuff, but I felt like they gave you some good close up stuff in there. They did a good job with it.
Definitely. With the Terry Silver aspect, I want to see him manipulate one of the kids. I don't care who it is. Maybe it's Robbie because he's Crease's big student now.
That would
Robbie
be the
Frank
obvious
Jr.
choice.
But maybe it's Miguel. Maybe I need to see that wooden fight dummy that Daniel busts his hands all up on. If I don't get that in season 4, I'm going to be very annoyed. And honestly, I think they will 100% give me what I want.
I think
it'll be there.
So the big cameo. We got Chosen. We got everyone from 2 that we could get, which is great. But and I was going to be happy with the season because I liked where it was going storyline wise. But because we got so much like that, I thought this is their way of telling me right now there's no Allie with an I. And I am so glad I did not look up any spoilers or go on anyone's Twitter or whatever. Because when they show her mom walking around the Christmas tree, I lit up like a little kid. And I was like, Allie's, this is the one. This is the Allie episode. And she was in it for a good chunk of time. And it didn't really add to the overall story too much, but it was a very cool reunion between her and Daniel and Johnny, and they worked in a little tension. But at this point, we knew Johnny was really head over heels for Miguel's mom, and Daniel's married.
The episode prior.
Yeah.
I thought the Allie stuff, it was comforting. It was nice to have her there. It was like ice cream. Not a lot of nutrition, not a lot of huge value, but very enjoyable. But the one scene where at the country club and she's like, oh, Daniel, holy shit. They have their little moment. Like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And from across the room, Johnny's seeing this and he's seeing Daniel walk up to, his girl. And he looks very upset, and they do the great use of the flashbacks where Daniel walks up to his girl on the beach, Karate Kid 1. And I felt so fucking bad for Johnny in that moment where I was like, go fucking punch him in the face right now. I'm with you. Let's do this. Like, they did a great job with that whole scene. I think, and that's what it was all for. I think that moment, that scene, and getting both of them past Allie with an eye was the point of having her on.
That I think it was, but I think another part of that, another layer to what makes that great, is how great Daniel's wife is in having her interact with Allie, and that was really they did that in a really great, realistic way, where it's not like she's suddenly jealous that Allie's back or like some stupid, teenager drama show.
No catty bullshit.
No, it was really good. It was really funny and was grounded.
And they add in some wrinkles, some lore, the Daniel Allie breakup. Like, well, what happened with you guys? Well, Daniel, being who he is, got a little jealous. Allie was, she had some male friends, and he didn't like, being close to one of them. You know how guys are, especially guys like Daniel. And that kind of blew up their relationship because he's insecure, Daniel LaRusso. And I thought that was nice. Did we need that? No. Did it make sense? Yeah. And I'll accept this lore.
Do you know what, though? I am not sure now if there is like 45 seconds of exposition in the beginning of Karate Kid 2, and they talk about Allie, that just didn't work out. I don't know how much detail there is there, and I want to go back and watch it because Karate Kid 2 starts with the end of the tournament, and Kreese is like going to kill Johnny in the parking lot, and then there's a scene where like they're in the airport or something, or it's before he's talking to his mom about going over to Okinawa for the summer with Mr. Miyagi. And I know for sure they address it before he gets there because they don't want him to seem like a cheater or something. They want him to fall in love with this Okinawan girl, but they want you, the viewer, to to be like, oh, he's definitely separate. They're not together anymore. I don't know how they word it or phrase it in the beginning of 2. So I want to check that.
Well, let me know. I'm sure that they've covered those bases. I'm sure it coincides with what they've said, at least.
They've done a great job of not like saying something that technically contradicts something from one of the movies. They've added to stuff, but they haven't done anything that's like retconned anything from any of the movies so far, which means maybe season 5, Hilary Swank.
I'm okay with that. Gives me a reason to finally watch that movie. Okay, I'm down.
I mean, can you fucking imagine if Hilary Swank ends up in this Karate Kid show?
Why? What's she doing?
I don't. But I mean, she was an Oscar winner or something. I don't know. That's true. She was in the core.
Diablo Cody. What's she up to?
She was in the core.
What Popeye shift is she working tonight?
Damn, I got them chicken sandwiches. So I loved it. And it didn't let me down. I didn't need the Allie thing to be game changing or like super pivotal. I just needed her to be on the show because the nostalgia can't be complete without Allie with an I.
And I'm happy that it's over, to be honest with you.
Yep, let's get back to the beef.
Yes. As nice and sweet as everything was.
You don't want it looming.
The only romance that I need on this show is maybe the stuff between the kids. I mean, Daniel's married. Johnny's got Miguel's mom. Like, let those stories do what they're doing, and just a little teenage love between these warring factions. Yeah, and that's good. And then give me the Power Ranger fight scenes, 5-on-5.
Because we have like a 5D Tesseract of like Miguel and Sam and Robbie and what's her name, Tori and Hawk and other chick and the nerdy guy, and now the bad girl from season 1 was gone for the summer season, and now she's back for this season.
That's hilarious. I forgot all about her. That was awesome. And the nerdy kid hooking up with her, like, that was adorable. That was just good stuff, and it didn't eat up a lot of time. Honestly, I think they used those moments, their interactions, to either begin a scene comedically or end a scene. It was very not Jon Favreau. Who's the guy that did Buffy?
Ooh, the show?
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon did Buffy, didn't he?
He's known for sort of almost bookending scenes with humor. And I think that's kind of how they used the nerd girl romance, which is great.
It was well done. I liked it. And I don't know, I can see a lot of ways this can go, and that makes me excited, not knowing exactly what has to happen.
Thomas Ian Griffith, start getting in shape, pal.
Yeah, we need you. The bat signal has been fired up, and they did it with the last season. We're going to put Allie with an I on the phone in the sand. So if you ain't there, Allie with an I, that's on you. The fans want it. But you know what, though? Like, I think a lot more fans... Look, Dale and Jim really want it, Thomas. You got to come back. Who's Dale and Jim? Well, they're your 2 biggest fans, I guess. They're the 2 people that saw Karate Kid 3. You got to come back for them.
Absolutely. Do you think Chosen's a bigger favorite villain that Overture? Damn.
I do, definitely, just because the generation of people that were like teenagers when those movies came out ate up Karate Kid 2.
I mean, that one was kind of violent. He's like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. That was this is not tournament, this is for real season. Yeah. You know? And
not tournament. And
he got his ass beat down by those people.
We don't get Zipline Michael, but we do get Zipline Chosen.
Yeah.
Karate Kid 2.
And but box office wise, it did more than the first movie. You know, had the Peter Cetera song. Like, it was a huge box office movie that year. So I know a lot more people that just sort of peripherally are looking for stuff would be like, oh yeah, and if there was a 3, like, yeah, I don't remember what happens in 3. And that's 3's fault, because they do so much shit from 1. You know, like, same tournament, same set, same costumes in the last fight. You know, same music and shit. I mean, it was good.
So if you haven't seen it, check it out because it's a good season. It's a good season. And check out Karate Kid 3 if you can get through it. Which it's watchable. It's more than watchable. It's not up there with 1 and 2, but boy,
Got moments.
what a villain. What a villain.
And you get to see heel Daniel in that one.
Yeah. I think that might
Robin
be why
Lively.
I'm always a sucker for good guys being corrupted and bad guys, turning face a little bit, at least momentarily. Like those were my favorite parts of the new Star Wars movies, with the Kylo Ren and the Rey. Like those were pretty much the only moments of those movies that I enjoyed, because they did do it well, at least. And so yeah, maybe that's why I like Karate Kid as much as I do.
They do it. They do a good job.
Temptation.
Superman 2, like he's a bad guy, or that's Superman 3. He's a bad guy, and then we get to see him come back and be Daniel at the end and kick ass and take names.
Alrighty.
That's all we have for today, but just a little bit longer than usual.
There you go. Get you through this week. We need the extra content to survive the insanity out there. So that is going to do it for episode 158. Thanks for listening. I'm not getting tased in the balls and having a heart attack.
And I'm the glory of love. Like a knight in shining armor.